Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Day Sketches Round 6. And for Instagram, it's hashtag 30DSCBL6. And Facebook, there's a Facebook page. Christy's got one. It's 30 Days of Sketches by Christy's Beautiful Life. And this is the sketch for today, day 5. And see the left side, it's got like a whole wall of flowers. I wasn't sure if I liked that. And even though I do like more. But I'm going to go with that. I'm going to cover that whole side there. Well, the opposite side because my picture's going in the other direction. I'm also going to have those 3 pieces of scrap paper and the circle around there, plus the title and the subtitle. So I'm going to do really well sticking with this layout, except I'm not using flowers. And that picture is a picture of my niece, Christy, and I'm going to do an autumn layout for it. I had forgotten that it had a frame around it in the original, so I went and got a frame, and now I'm cutting down the vanilla cardstock to fit in there. And I had gutted that paper like last year, last autumn, and had never used it, but it came in handy today. I'm going to use liquid glue to go around it because it is so much easier to center that way and to move if you need to. This is my Martha Stewart circle cutter, but I'm not going to use it as a cutter. I'm just going to use the pencil and go around it and leave that mark there because I'm going to do stitching, but I'm going to wait so I don't have to do as much. The cute little die set that I'm going to be using is cat scrappiness. No, diamond dies. Diamond dies, and it's maple leaf and oak leaf. And I sprayed the paper with water so that it'll be more pliable. The reason I needed it pliable is because Linda Holt had made a comment when I did that big leaf on the Mixed Media Frenzy Day and didn't wrinkle it up that she was hoping I'd wrinkle it up. Well, I'm going to wrinkle up quite a few for you, Linda. A bunch today. And it sure makes all these leaves look good. I'm only going to do like 6 here or 8, however many this is. I'm thinking 6 maybe. But I'm going to do a lot more that I've cut out. I am starting out with mustard seed, I think it's called, and it's my lightest color, so I am inking all these leaves in it first. Next, I'm going to switch over to Spice Marmalade. It's kind of an orange color, and I'm going to go over the yellow a little bit and, of course, put some bright spiced marmalade on there. Yeah, these dies were made actually for cards because I think Diamond Dies does them for cards. If they still do them, I haven't noticed them lately. But, so they're small. But I'm going to use them on that whole area over there, so I need a lot. I am just using the little blending brush because I needed something small for this. But I am also going to use my foam applicator thingies too. And I'm adding some green because these aren't completely changed yet. I had to have some green in here. And this is close to my heart. Olive, that's what it is. It's olive. And of course, I have the rusty hinge because you know I like rusty hinge. I am making sure I'm getting the stems because I want them dark. And I'm going around the whole outside edge of these little leaves, and I'm going to have ink everywhere when I get done. But I have a wipey, well, 2 or 3, and I'm going to wipe my hands several times. But I think it looks good at the end. I have my wall, I hold down the whole thing, and it's got loads and loads of texture, which I really, really like on a scrapbook page. But the reason I'm going around the outside with the rusty hinge is to make them look like they're turning from the outside going in and make them look, more natural, I think. But I'm also going to do some splattering on them too. I'm going to first use rusty hinges for my splatters. Then I'm going to go to tea dye because it's a darker color. And then I'm going to pull out my Glimmer Mist chalkboard paint, and I'm going to sprinkle it on too. And it's a Ponderosa is the color of it. And it's going to give it an added look. I used it before with the bubble wrap to give it a more texturized look, but I'm just going to sprinkle it today. These leaves aren't big enough for bubble wrap. I do have leaves bigger, but they're way bigger. And I do have leaves that's smaller, but I didn't want smaller, that's for sure. And I have one leaf, one, not a variety, that's kind of in between that I would like to use, but it was too big for this to go with it, or I'd had three. So yeah, I just went with these two because that's all that was in the die set. This is just a scrap piece of paper that I'm going to back the picture with, but I'm inking it in the rusty hinge too. And I considered cutting it down just a little bit, but then I thought I could probably do less leaves down the wall on the right hand side if I went ahead and left it that size. So I left it that size. And boy, I'm about running out of this one brown checked paper, but it's it has gone on several layouts here and there. And you seen that one little piece left? Well, I'm going to use it on a layout too. And the other, that one with the words, it says spiced and pumpkin and apple and stuff. It's a thin one, but it's from Hobby Lobby, and I love it. I love those words on my layout. I am inking all three of the pieces of paper with the rusty hinge, of course, to go with the rest of everything else. And just tucking them behind the picture like it is in the original. And I thought about mounting my picture on foam tape, but I didn't. I decided there'd be enough texture on this page that it would make up for this not being brought up. And before the layout was over, I was beginning to stress I was not going to have enough. But I do. I do have enough leaves to go on here. But I would have stopped and made some more if I had to, but I barely made it. I did have to switch a couple out once right at the end, but I made it. And I've got my tree ring, Tim Holtz tree ring, and I'm inking it in, oh my goodness, tea-dye ink. And I do love that tree ring is what I love. And I'm inking it with tea dye. And these are they're leaf foliage things, Tim Holtz. And this one is actually the Christmas one, but I use it all the time anyway. I'd like to get the summery one sooner or later, but I can do without it till, for a while because I do have plenty of options otherwise. I am mounting my tree ring on foam tape though. I wanted it to sit up and tuck some pieces underneath it, and I am going to cut one leaf in half. And it has kind of flat side on one side. I was going to cut it off and nestle it there, but I remembered the flat side, so I just nestled it up against the corner and left it as that. And I love these little branches that are Tim Holtz, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Martha Stewart little branch punch too, so I don't have to get the die machine back out. But that don't stop me from loving the Martha Stewart one too. I am using liquid glue on all these because they're small and it's a lot easier to use. And I'm not using foam tape on hardly any of the leaves. I am using on a couple, but not very many. Just ones that aren't in that whole big wall area. I think one right by the tree ring and maybe next to it, and then some other places on the layout because, yeah, I do put it in a couple of other places. I couldn't resist. And if you decide to take this on with as smaller leaves as I have, no, it's going to be a little bit time consuming and will take a while. But if you like texture, it is worth it. And I like texture. Still haven't made up my mind where I like it all the way down there. I think I might have liked it if I'd put a branch, big branch. I could have handmade one. I could have, yeah, and put it on there and had some of the tree trunk showing through. But I don't actually have anything for tree trunk because I do have a wood grain, but not tree trunk. I might have to think about that. I am sure if I thought of it long enough, I could come up with something for it. It might take a while to do, just like the leaves, but I think I could because I think little tiny brown pieces of bark, one on top of each other, might work. Um, let's see. I am just adding like what I call finishing touches in different places. And I did put some ink in a few places that I wasn't going to have leaves because I wasn't going to cut anymore. And you can see that one laying over there in that bowl. I'm going to use it. But I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't resist adding some leaves to a couple of other places. And the top left corner, that was hard to resist too. I finally decided, yep, I was going to go ahead and add something there. Oh, but first, I am going to do the stitches. And I'm making a hole, like if it goes up to a point underneath that leaf. I think it's a leaf on the other side too. But I'm making all my holes, and then I'm going to stitch, and I am almost not going to have enough thread cut off. Really, almost not enough. I had to be very careful here. It kept trying to come unthreaded, and it did once, but I managed to thread it back and go do the last, I think, 3 stitches after it came unthreaded. But yeah, I kept pulling too hard. I pulled out the antique linen, and I'm just gonna like add a little bit of ink here and there, kind of like shadows or something. I don't know. I just thought it needed. I thought it was just too plain without it, so I did add some antique linen. And this is where I cut all that stuff with my die cut machine that day. And I cut 3 hearts from the Sizzix. It's a die set of 3, and I'm thinking they're called rustic. I'm not sure. But I decided I was going to put my heart right up there. Then I thought, oh, I haven't done my title yet. I got to have my title. So I'm going to use this sticker, A Day to Remember. And I'm almost going to forget my subtitle too, but I will take care of it. And I'm just cutting around it so I'll have 2 lines instead of 1 line. And this is my subtitle, and it says, the days are getting shorter, the shadows longer, and there's a crispiness in the air. Hooray, it's autumn time. I am putting the center sentence line, I am putting it up on foam tape, but the other 2 I'm just adhering straight to the page. Whoops, I guess I accidentally deleted or didn't have the camera on. My grandson come brought me a ribeye steak off the grill. Yeah, and I left and went and talked to him a while on the deck. And so I either didn't have it recorded or what, but there is a banner up there, and I did use all 3 all 3 pieces of paper that I used in the circle part, the scraps, and I changed out the leaf that I had last for the bottom leaf and the bottom, very, very bottom part. And I did splatter some High Swap Gold on the layout. But I guess I cut that out somehow. I am so sorry I don't have it. But yeah, that's it. That's my layout. If you look down there below, you'll see links to all the other gals that are doing it. Like I said, this is day 5, and there's plenty of people joining in. So there's lots and lots of inspiration. And I had super fun with this layout, and I will have something a little different in my page because I followed the sketch. Not always. I don't always do that, but I did do that today. So that's the end of my layout. But thank you so much for watching. And if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. If you liked the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful comments you leave down there below, too. Makes my day. Have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.